I think when you make a submission, it's important to distinguish in your mind for the judges that this is a story of something you've done and achieved and an expression of how you've gone about that. It's not a sales pitch to the judges to win a piece of work and earn some fees. And so it's different, and you need in the planning and preparation to be quite clear in your own mind this distinction, and that you're presenting something that's really rather different from normal commercial business. For an entry to be impressive, it needs to tell a story, and it needs to be free from jargon, communicate clearly, and not leave questions in the judge's mind about what do those words mean, what's left hanging out there. And for instance, for the Consultants of the Year, one of the common habits for entries is that someone says, well, I'm charismatic. And for me, that's meaningless. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean you're friendly, sociable, good communication skills? But it doesn't mean anything unless there's an explanation about what impact that has on the project and what it means. As a judge, I want to understand the project from end to end, what went into it, what the contribution was made. I like to see that this is not just a standard recipe for management consultancy. I want to see that the approach has made a difference to the company, to the people in the company, and to wider society. And so all those things need to be built in. And I think if you take the story approach rather than a simple report of I did X, Y, and Z, and the outcomes were ABC, I think it has more impact. But I do like to see comments on those things. Well, for those who have that task of shortlisting, they look at them all, and really it's a reflection of reading them all and assessing which ones provide something a little bit more exciting, or they've completed a challenge, they've done something in a new way, they've used people in a different way, and changes they've brought about. And I think often when reading entries, those that are more formulaic tend not to do as well. And so, a number of entries are taken who show some of those ingredients, so that when it comes to a later stage and the interviews takes place, any questions emerging can be answered, but the story needs to be interesting enough to get them to the next stage. Well, I think the use of jargon and for me, not sufficient explanation about the impact on people, how people were used, how people were managed through the process. If there's no explanation of the people impact, then I think it loses something. A lot of IT jargon and the use of software, I think, also puts people further down the list, because that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for consultancy which moves the industry forward and moves companies forward, not simply the delivery of a process. For an entry to stand out, it's above the rest. It needs to show something that's different. It needs to show how innovative it's been, how the use of people has been different, or the impact on society, or how diversity has been taken into consideration. And it's being able to stand out when it's read, and those things to be clear, that really makes a difference as to whether an entry can go through to the next phase or not.